The end of the NBA regular season is almost upon us. Seeding and such is still to be determined, but teams are now sprinting to the finish line as we gear up for the start of the playoffs. I figured, why not do a short analysis video on what my expectations are for teams as they enter the playoffs. In this video, I'm going to lay out my thoughts on playoff teams' current path to the NBA Finals. If you guys like sports content or content of this nature, please leave a like as well as subscribe, as well as also turn on post notifications so that you get notified every time I upload a video. And with that, let's get back to it. Minnesota, Denver, and Oklahoma City are all fighting for the 1 seed. Minnesota is unfortunately hurt, and I'd say that the Nuggets and the Thunder have the brightest championship aspirations and similar paths to the finals. Although matchups aren't set yet, I take those teams as the favorites in every series until they'd eventually meet up against each other. They both have MVP candidates who have maintained such high levels of play throughout the entire season. The Nuggets have it easier though. The Celtics are the gatekeepers of the Eastern Conference, and by the looks of it, they'll be the only 60-win team this season. As a team, they've kept elite pace even with Porzingis in and out of the lineup. Their path is determined by which version of Jason Tatum we see in the playoffs. I hate to put the pressure on him, but that's exactly what I'm doing. The Celtics have been amazing even with Tatum having his off nights. If those nights continue in the playoffs, they're only opening the door for teams to take advantage. Giannis has been the ultimate constant for the Bucks this season. Before Adrian Griffin was hired, he had the Bucks as a number 2 seed, even with the bottom tier defense and Damian Lillard's early struggles. Post All-Star break and post Doc Rivers hire, the team's defensive identity has seemingly been found, albeit not perfect, and Damian Lillard has shaken off a good portion of his slump. Not all, but a good portion. As long as they have Giannis and Dame, they'll be a credible threat in the Eastern Conference. This year, though, their path, along with everyone else, has to go through the Celtics. The Knicks were really big winners at the trade deadline, so much so that I got really excited at the prospect of a fully healthy Knicks team come playoff time. Fast forward now, Mitchell Robinson is back, but Julius Randle still has yet to rejoin the lineup. Along that, OG Anunoby has been sidelined again with injury. Unfortunately, I think the injury bug has claimed what would have been an extremely exciting team to watch during the postseason. I think too much falls on Brunson with so many key pieces on this team missing. Perhaps a favorable first round matchup might aid them, but they have an extremely tough path ahead. With this likely being the end of the Kawhi, Paul George era in Los Angeles, this team is once again a complete question mark come April. Kawhi has been healthy for the entire season and has looked stellar, shooting just barely under 50-40-90 for the entire season. But as far as the team goes, they still run too much isolation for my liking. Their solution to needing a true point guard to compensate for their over-reliance on ISOs was to trade for one of the heaviest abusers of isolation in NBA history in James Harden. I truly don't know what this team has in store, but I predict the end of the road for this Clippers team as we know it. For the Suns and the Cavs, I have trouble figuring out what I want from them. The Cavs have had just about everybody miss time with injury, and they still aren't 100% healthy. The Suns are somehow a terrible fourth quarter team with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant on the roster. Neither one of these teams I expect very much out of. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't even make it out the first round. The Pacers and the Magic are in the exact same boat. Teams led by young stars coming in at lower seeds who I don't have very high expectations for. At worst, they'll get swept in the first round by the big boys in the conference. And at best, they'll maybe take a series and overachieve. When I'm watching them, I'm focused on the players that are the futures of these teams. I'm looking at Paolo, I'm looking at Halliburton, I'm looking at Franz. I want to see how they fare in their first ever playoff environments. Speaking of first ever playoff environments, Zion Williamson has finally reached the playoffs. The Pelicans look really good in their last few games. This Pelicans team can check off a lot of boxes with a strong postseason performance. I'll be paying attention to their first round especially, because I had the Pelicans as one of my teams I was looking out for at the beginning of the season. Yo, it's your boy Maurice, Sports Historian. Appreciate you for sticking along throughout this video. Once again, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces.